Okay, so bear with me, we've got a really cool slate of content upcoming that I'm really stoked to share from tomorrow through at least Monday. That's what I'm already noting or editing, stuff that I'm really excited to share with you. But today we got a bit of an update that happened to kind of derail some of that focused progression of working on those upcoming videos. Today, we got a bit of an update for the fate of XDefiant, and if the track record of who this is coming from is anything to go off of, it doesn't sound too great. Today, I want to quickly fill you in on where we've been in the conversation regarding XDefiant and the release here, or rather not released to date. So drop your thoughts as we go along, drop a like if you enjoy, and subscribe for more. Let's get into it. So it seems like we've been progressively pushing towards another delay for a while now, since there's been absolutely no communication on the project, no official announcements, nothing grandiose since the announcement of the delay late last year. Officially speaking, the only hints and positive notes was the earning report from Ubisoft that stated their declaration of intent to launch the game within their Q4 of the fiscal year. For them, that's January 1st to March 31st, meaning that the players have been looking towards this sort of backstop of March 31st. But while we're only 2 weeks and a few days and change away from that, we've heard nothing, which is why I've mentioned it seems like we're on this progression towards a delay of some kind, whether that be a few days, a few weeks, a few months, we don't know. But it just seems like in this case, no news is bad news. Now, I'll be honest, even I was hoping this was wrong. And with the inclusion of things that we've mentioned recently, how like coins and in-game currency were added to platform storefronts, how rewards were on the Ubisoft store with Battle Pass tier tokens, Battle Pass boosters, and like even weapon skins, how the servers were active and everything being tested for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC, how achievements were found for the game, and even how the PlayStation beta application was updated to just then be the XDefiant application, taking off the beta tag. So like that kind of stuff feeds into that steady drip of copium, right? Like surely those things would not be getting added and being seen public if they weren't getting close to fully revealing. That kind of stuff is usually like last second additions, incentives to play the game with Ubisoft Plus or whatever it was for those Battle Pass boosters and weapon skins, the coins and in-game currency, kind of again solidifying the foundational elements here of that. So like surely those would have been added if they were close, right? Well, according to industry insider Tom Henderson, it seems like both can simultaneously be true. In a conversation earlier on Twitter, not calling that godforsaken hellscape X, Tom revealed though that he'd have a full report at the end of the month about everything here in regards to XDefiant, and then followed up explaining the whole fiscal year Q4 thing by stating its contract obligations from 2023 when it was forecasted that the game would already be released. It was meant to be released on the last week of February, and why the trophies were accidentally added to the database. Followed then with, I imagine they have to announce it sometime this month that it won't hit its Q4 release. And that's all that we have right now in regards to the launch of XDefiant, but it honestly clarifies a lot of things here, where, again, it seems like both can simultaneously be true, where we're pushing closer and closer towards an official delay of some kind, but it's still strange that we saw all those things already live, because the game, according to Tom, was supposed to go live at the end of February. Now, while yes, this is only the word of one person, Tom's track record has checked out quite a bit. We've talked about him plenty of times, and over the course of the last year and a half, 2-3 years or so, there's not many things that I can remember that he got wrong, if any, off the top of my head. And he's built out this solid reputation here for the validity of what he puts out. So because of that, well, that absolutely sucks to hear, right? Like 100%. Now, I'm a patient dude. Honestly, I do think that I still stand by my assumptions that we've talked about before, but like, I'm kind of disappointed we just don't have any communication. Like on one hand, again, I still stand by firmly the fact that number one, that this game being delayed isn't the end of the world. If they're ironing out things for a smoother launch or a smoother experience, I'm all here for that. Number two, I still think that they killed the hype. You can say that as much as you want, but with the game going to a free-to-play audience, even if the COD fans that like you or I were expected to jump over, even if those don't come, the game's going to be populated. It's going to find its own audience. I mean, this is such a rough comparison, but if you take, for example, Modern Warfare 2019, that apparently earned $600 million in earnings the first 3 days of the game's launch. Now, if you assume that every single one of those games bought was the basic $60 version of the game, you come to a rough and likely very inflated estimate of 10 million copies sold of the game within those first couple of days. In 3 days, though, by comparison, Warzone launched to 15 million players. And sure, you can discount that maybe everybody played Warzone who bought it. Maybe there's more people who bought it from that November to March period, and that covers all the bases. But then, a week later, Warzone hit 30 million players. Not even a month later, 50 million players. So like, yes, I'm using one of the largest game franchises in history as an illustrative point, but that point still remains. With the power of free to play, there's gonna be an audience here, whether you or I are part of that at all. And not to mention that I still think that even if this game does get delayed, yes, it does suck. Yes, I want to play. I'm looking for another fun, fast arcade shooter. But at the same time, I still think they have plenty of window for this to be successful and for a decent bit at that point. Because again, the main competitor that a lot of players may actually jump over to is the next Call of Duty, the next Battlefield, the next big FPS title. And at the earliest, we have one coming in what, like October with Black Ops Gulf War, where no playable builds or a beta or an alpha will be coming until at least September, August. So you have many months that you could still do well with. But again, the thing that kind of frustrates me is just the annoyance that we've had zero communication throughout this entire time. And I don't think that I'd be frustrated about that if this was a game that hadn't done so well with communication earlier on. And like, trust me, I get that there's totally studio and publisher side messaging that can and cannot be shared, but like, I'd imagine with the hype and excitement that this game has built up and then lost and built up over the course of the last year and a half or so, that Ubisoft would have been like, hey, you know, maybe we should update these guys. Like, wouldn't you think so? So like, that's, I think, where I'm a little bit annoyed, and like, yeah, grand scheme of things, I'm still going to be playing the game, I'm still going to make content on it when it comes out, because I am looking forward to playing it. But like, in the moment, it sucks that this is how everything's shaping up. So what's next? Frankly, I mean, who knows when the launch will be. I'll be here talking about it and making content when it does eventually come out. I'm kind of hoping this is the last XDefiant video that I can and have to make here in the next couple of weeks or so. Frankly, working on these other videos that I'm working on now upcoming for the next couple of days, I feel like this discussion around the will they, won't they release it type of stuff with XDefiant is just not the best of my products, so I apologize for that. But the way Tom talks, where he's going to have an article and report at the end of the month, kind of makes it seem like it might be a little bit longer of a waiting period, maybe like early May. But I mean, who knows? Maybe it's April, maybe it's May, maybe it's June, maybe it's not even until July. We don't know. But in the meantime, I'll be making content on some other games. I hope you're all cool with this. From a creative end, it's been so nice to not talk about one single game every single day. Frankly, I'm not stressing about, oh my God, what I'm going to talk about in the COD space mid-season when there's nothing going on anymore. Like I said, stoked to share a few things with you guys with some upcoming projects in the next few days, a few first looks projects. We're talking Gray Zone Warfare tomorrow. We got some cool stuff that I don't know if I can mention just yet on Friday. And if I can get over this dang technical difficulties and hurdles, I've got a video that I think is really cool that I don't think anybody's going to see coming. I think sometime this weekend, maybe early into next weekend, where it's equal parts why and then equal parts, okay, that's pretty cool. But we'll get to that one later. Anyways, though, spend some time playing some games you enjoy. In the meantime, for me, it's going to be Helldivers 2, Spreading Democracy, finishing up some of the Jedi games that I still never got around to on my backlog, and more. But for now, that's where we're at. So that's where we're going to wrap it up. Just want to fill you guys in here and give you a bit of an update on the situation regarding XDefiant, and unfortunately, it's not the best news, so I apologize for that. But anyways, that's where we're at. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Love to have you in the community as we talk about more and more games here in the future. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.